Hi everyone, welcome to my interview response for Certificate 3 in Dance, the Assistant Dance Teaching Competency. I'm going to be answering the interview questions where you need to ask a teacher. I'm just doing the one recording so that we don't have to do 10 interviews. I'm not feeling 100% today, so I'm sorry that I look a bit under the weather, but we've got to do what we've got to do. So, question one. How long have you been teaching dance? I started assistant dance teaching when I was about 16 at my studio Orgate Dance and for another teacher down in the city. But I've been doing formal teaching and paid teaching since I was about 21. So for about 10 years, and that was after I received my qualifications. What do you love about what you do in the studio? My favourite thing to do is obviously to build positive relationships with students. I love seeing students get things that they didn't think they could do before. That's a real magic moment when you explain something to someone and everything just clicks and it makes everything easy and they just get it. It's really, really special. It's amazing to see students develop their own passion for dance and their own love of dance, whether it's for the same genre as me or for another genre, it doesn't matter. Just seeing them develop that passion and understanding is really amazing. And I really like feeling like I'm training the students in my class to be more than just a good dancer, but to be a good human being so that they can step out into the world and treat others with kindness and be genuine and be resilient, be a good team player, be good at time management. All of those things that we need to be able to do in the world are also really relevant in our dance classroom. What inspired me to teach was 100% my teacher. I loved what she did. I loved the way she managed classrooms. And I liked dancing, so that was really cool. And I also faced some challenges when I was learning how to dance. I was never the skinny kid. I was never the kid who was the best. I was always sort of middle of the rung, if not down lower than that. And as I got older, I worked out that I actually had to try a lot harder than other kids to be good at what I was doing. So I had to listen to the really explicit feedback that my teacher gave. I had to listen to all the ways that I had to make my muscles work for that to be effective. I had to listen and even to feedback from other kids. So my teacher would give feedback to the person standing next to me, and I would listen to that and try to apply it to my body as well. And that's what made me a better dancer. And that made me want to teach people too, because anyone can dance if they're given the right instruction and if they're given the opportunity to dance. Yeah. Where have you developed your teaching methods and style? So most of my teaching methods have come from my dance teacher. I hear myself saying things that she used to say or still says to us all of the time. I obviously learnt trainings and techniques and sort of got some methods and styling stuff from uni. I studied my Certificate of Ballet Teaching Studies with the Royal Academy of Dance when I finished my university degree, and that helped me understand and unpack scaffolding and the progressions of dance steps and how you can't learn how to do a turn before you learn how to do a prep, or learn how to do a turn before you learn how to spin. So that was really helpful. Then I guess in general my styles have evolved over the years because I've learnt from all the different teachers that I've encountered and some students as well. So when I moved down to Mount Gambier, I did a few classes down there with a teacher called Maxine Lockwood, and went out and observed classes at I can't remember. Anyway, I observed lots of different classes that were going on down there, and learnt from their teachers. And then when I started at Seaview, I met Miss Threadgold, and I've learnt a lot from her as a teacher too. I learnt when I watch her teach, she really delivers instructions clearly, and I now strive to do that as well. Formal dance qualifications, yes, I have them because I don't believe that you should teach without being qualified to do so. So I have my Bachelor of Creative Industries in Dance and my Bachelor of Education, Secondary Education. I did both of those as a double degree at the Queensland University of Technology. So I moved to Queensland when I was 18 and studied up there for 4 years. Then I moved back to Adelaide at the end of that course, and I did my Certificate of Ballet Teaching Studies with the RAD, or Royal Academy of Dance. And then when I was teaching in Mount Gambier, I completed my Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment, and that allows me to teach Certificate 2 and 3 dance here at CB, so that's cool. Motivation is like, yeah, I see it, I get it all the time. Like, I feel motivated by seeing people grow. I feel motivated by people saying thank you. That's almost one of the biggest things. Like, someone coming up to you at the end of class and saying thank you, or someone even in the yard just saying hi to you. Like, that means that they acknowledge you and they like you, I guess. I like seeing people be successful and sort of ticking boxes and seeing themselves progress. And probably my biggest motivation is just hoping each day that I've impacted people's lives in a positive way and made them feel just a little bit better, because they got a step, or maybe because they got a bit upset and we had a chat, or because dance got them out of their head for an hour and a half and that allowed them to free space in their brain. Yeah, it's just nice to know that hopefully each day you make someone a little bit happy. Any days that I don't want to continue teaching, and why? Flatly no. I don't think I've ever had a day that I felt like I don't want to do this anymore. And I feel incredibly lucky to be in a job where I want to get up in the morning. I want to come to school. I just love what I do, and I'm incredibly grateful that I've found a job where I feel like that. But there are some days where I feel like I need a break, or a bit of a holiday, just to have a sleep in, or just know that you don't have to plan a lesson the next day or think about what's happening the next day. There are also some times where I feel like I just need to get away from other people for a little while as well. And then, I don't know, some days I go home and I reflect on my day and like, oh, that wasn't a very good day today because I felt like I was underprepared, or I was a bit tired today, or I just in general, I just gave a bad lesson because things went wrong today. Like, it just didn't go the way I wanted to. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to teach anymore. It just makes me reflective of my lesson and hope that next time I can do a little bit better. What type of student behaviour encourages me and why? I love people who are motivated, who are engaged, who are empathetic and understanding, who are polite, people who are respectful, and then students who are humble but still have a little quiet confidence about them. Because all of those traits, they make a class easier to manage, and they allow each student to learn as much as they can. Sorry, little pause there. I just needed to sneeze, so I paused it for a minute. I like people that are humble but with quiet confidence. Here we go again. Sorry, another sneeze. Might need a bloopers reel. I like those types of behaviours because they make my classes easier to manage. It means that every kid, every student's able to learn as much as they can within the lesson, and they all feel supported by each other, which is really important. I guess too, it's important to remember sometimes these types of behaviours aren't actually the behaviours of the best person in the class, but they are often qualities of students who is the best learner in the class, and they end up being the students that go the furthest. They achieve the most, they kick the most goals, and they end up being successful in the career that they choose. Challenging behaviour, I find people who don't listen incredibly frustrating. That includes people who sort of talk over the top of you when you're trying to teach. It's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand laziness because we only get one life. You've got to live it to the fullest. You've got to get it done. You've got to do it. Like, you've got this amazing body that has been given to you, so use it. Make the most of it. Disrespectfulness, I find really challenging. Not so, like, I can tolerate it sometimes. Like, as a teacher, I can pull people back in line, and I don't mind doing that. But disrespect from peer to peer, I find really challenging. Sometimes as a teacher, we don't even see it. Like, we get it reported to us. But yeah, like, just be nice, I guess. I find sometimes people's inability to apply feedback challenging, just because I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, like a broken record. But I do need to stop sometimes and acknowledge that sometimes people do they find it hard to get the message from their head down to their body, and sometimes I misinterpret that they are really trying, and yeah, so sometimes there's a bit of a fine line there. Yeah, I guess these behaviours are challenging because often the kids don't really want to be in your class. They don't really want to learn. They might just think dance is a bit of fun. Like, yeah, I'm here for fun. Yeah, and they take time away from students who really want to be there learning, because you're trying to manage behaviour rather than actually teaching. Most inspiring teacher was my current teacher, Nan Iveson. I've already talked about her in terms of like what made me want to teach a little bit. But here's some more info. Like, I feel inspired by her because I've been going to her classes since I was 3, and I worked out it's been 28 years and counting, which is ridiculous. She's 75 now. She still runs her own studio called All Gate Dance. That means that she actually she doesn't just teach dance. She does all the bookwork, she does all the newsletters, she does all the finances. That means all the billing, all the accounting, all the taxation stuff. She manages social media and all of the enrollments. Like, it's unbelievable. She gets a little bit of help from her son, but most of it she does by herself. She currently teaches students aged between 3 and 79. So that's a huge age bracket to be trying to work out what to teach and how to teach and where their body's at and where their development's at. And she teaches 7 days a week. So she does big classes and private lessons, like Monday through to Sunday. And what I probably love about her most is that she continues to go to lectures and workshops and keeps like her training relevant. Even though she's getting older, she still wants to be relevant. Qualities that I think make up a good teacher: someone who's empathetic, their ability to impart knowledge, so their ability to actually explain and teach things and break them down or scaffold them, their ability to make or allow each student to reach their own goals, and then maintain a certain standard, someone who's engaging, and someone who likes to continue to learn themselves and isn't afraid of failure or afraid of saying, yep, I didn't give a good lesson today and this is why, and this is what I want to make better. So someone who wants to continue to improve in themselves. And a final question: if you were to stop teaching tomorrow, what would you want your students to remember about you, and what life skills would you want to pass on to them? So I want you all to remember me for my compassion, my incredible will to make you want to be the best version of yourself, for my incredibly bad singing to the music, and I hope, might not be for everyone, but I hope that at least some of you will remember me for making you feel welcome and supported. I'd also like my students to remember that as a teacher, I'm always grateful for having taught each and every one of you. And I, will treasure lots of memories that I have developed in the classroom. It's been great. And then I'd like my students to take into the world kindness, just first and always kindness, empathy, resilience, and the ability just sometimes to think beyond yourself. Awesome. Thanks for your time, everyone. I hope that helps. You just need to note down my answers. Bye.